Hi, everybody. My name is Grace Smith with the Wise News Network, and today I'm here with a very special guest, Ezer Way with Walk the Way, Nomadic Living. Ezer, how are you doing today?
I'm doing all right. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good myself. Now, can you please tell me about what we have going on behind us?
I travel full time with my farm animals. I think it's the healthiest thing for them. They don't have to stay in pens and get parasites. They get to always get the grass on the other side of the fence, kind of thing. And they seem to really enjoy it. The new baby, she's kind of getting used to it. She has to get the hang of things, but everybody's doing really good. We travel, and I just try to get out the ministry of God out to people, and so that's a big part of it too, is just bringing the church wherever you go and giving people the opportunity to see things they haven't had a chance to see and kind of have an experience maybe they never had.
And where are you heading right now?
I'm headed towards Missouri, but through the southwest route because we're coming into wintertime, so I have to put that into my calculations which direction I go, because it might be all right for a month or so, but another month it's really going to be getting cold. We have a wood stove, but
And how long have you been kind of on this journey and taking this path in life?
About 3 years, a little over 3 years now. So it started out, I didn't really know what I was doing. I just took off with a garden cart and 3 dogs and said I was going to Shenandoah Valley. And once I got there, I was like, well, okay, well, I did this for a minute. Now what do I do? And then so I decided I'd never seen the beach, and I went to the East Coast. And then once I got there, what do you do after that? So I went to Florida that year's the farthest I've gone on a trip. I went through Missouri, Kentucky, Tennessee, Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, and Florida, and then got a ride back to Missouri. I walked probably 1,500 out of 2,200 miles of that. I did get some rides back then because my cart was collapsible, but it was kind of limited to what kind of vehicles we could fit in.
And how many miles is your journey back to Missouri?
I think I'm looking at 888, and that's without anybody's house stops. Like a lot of times, it might be go a mile or two this way out of the way, or a mile or two this way. So I'm going to say probably 900 to 1,000 maybe, who knows.
Wow. And you mentioned house stops. Are these folks that you kind of meet in the community or friends that you've met prior?
I meet people going through communities, as well as I have Facebook and TikTok. So people a lot of times invite us out, and, they want to have the experience. The place we just stayed, she's been wanting to build a wagon, I guess, for years. So she actually got to have us come there and see it in working progress, and she was really thankful to have that experience when we left. So
have you found that community members are interested, welcoming? What would you?
Yeah, 99% of the community are really open and friendly. They just want to help. They want to be a part of it. They're excited. You end up with 1 or 2 Debbie Downers, and they'll try to cause me problems, call animal control or the cops, but they don't do much. The animals are all healthy. I have vaccinations, paperwork, like the horses had Coggins, health certificate and all that. So, everybody's well taken care of, deworm vaccinated, so they don't really give us any fuss. So 99% of the time, it's a good experience.
And I think a question that a lot of people would ask, why walk? Why not take an RV, take a van? Why walking?
It's all about the experience, like the things you get to see. If you're just driving, you miss so many things. Like people drive, and then nobody gets to meet you because you're going too fast. They get to see it stops and stuff. But here, every time we stop, people come up and they're like, what are you doing? Where are you going? And it gives us a chance. I also don't like driving. I'm kind of old fashioned, so this has been kind of what I've chosen to do. And then now I guess I might be driving the horse, but she's kind of a different experience. She goes a lot slower, and I can see things along the way and see people. So it's exciting.
I think that that's a good motto to live by. You want to be able to stop and smell the roses.
Well, it takes determination too. It wasn't the easiest way, but it was the way that I got to experience the most. And God's been good at providing everything. I've never really been hungry. I've never really been super cold or anything. I haven't really needed a lot. And when you can take that experience and get to share it with all the people you've met along the way, a lot of people really enjoy being a part of that journey.
Absolutely. And can you tell me a little bit about how you conquer challenges that you would meet on the road?
Honestly, it takes a lot of help from the community, and some people would look down on somebody for asking for help from everybody, but there are more than enough people that want to contribute. They ask to contribute, and so you're giving people a chance to gift and, give something back in the world. And a lot of people don't understand that that's something not a lot of people are doing now, and if you can give people a chance to do that, it works on people's hearts and communities. Like, it may take, I can't tell you how many people have worked on this wagon between the welding and just maybe helping buy a part or buy this or give us that. Like, it's taken hundreds to thousands of people to make each one of these things happen over the years. I started off with a garden cart and 3 dogs and like $30, and I was just like, well, I'm going to do it, And a lot of people thought I was crazy, but I've always had what I needed for my animals. And I've always, here, this last month, I was a little slim on my grocery money, but groceries are getting expensive. So we've been parked for 2 months, though, so that's a little different. And it's not quite cool enough because one of the sheep isn't looking at much more time. So, but, we do raise our own food and stuff like that. And I'm trying to show people how to be more sustainable while still living off grid. Maybe not in a wagon, but there's a lot of things on this wagon that they could implement to their own lives to simplify things.
What are some ways that you live sustainably and choose the sustainable course of action?
I sell jewelry and different little crafts and odds and ends, and then I also sell livestock and different things. I might halter break something and turn around and sell it. Just a lot of different things. I make cheese. I grow some of my own vegetables. And then when I go through a community, I might help on a farm, and maybe I'll get some of that, whatever I did. I'm actually thinking about offering like homestead butchering services to help people learn how to butcher so that I could obtain maybe a little portion of the meat when we go and just show people how to do it. Or if they just don't have the heart to do it, I could do it for them while I'm coming through. So that's kind of something else I've recently been kind of playing with. So
when you're on the road, how do you keep your food stored and cool and everything?
We did have a cooler. Currently, I'm using a bucket. I left the cooler at my last stop because I'm a little overwhelmed with stuff right now. It takes a lot to take care of all the animals. Like, the dogs have their own bin, the other livestock have their own bin. It's got antibiotics, dewormers, anything we might need. We don't use them very often, but if we need them, I prefer it to be available than to have to rush out, try to find something.
That's totally understandable. I'm sure you've encountered a lot of very interesting people, have a lot of very interesting stories. What's your favorite story from your time in your travels?
Honestly, it's hard to say. I meet a lot of amazing people, and like, I've had a lot of really heart-touching people that have helped me over the years. And I think it's like the older people and the children are my favorite part. So I can't say there's one instance, but like, seeing the excitement, like, I've met people that are 190, 100 years old, and they had their family members come seek me out because they've never seen anything like this, and they just wanted to be a part of that experience. And then some of them are tearful or very thoughtful about it. And so that's the best part of it for me, is all the interactions that you get. I didn't used to be a real social person, so this is my way of being social and being out in the world while still kind of living in my own lane.
Absolutely. Well, do you have anything else you want to add about your journey, about the animals, about the wagon?
I just want to remind people to live in faith, and just to be happy and remember that the world, if you slow down a little, you can enjoy your life instead of just speeding through the next thing.
I think that that's a message that we all need to hear in times like this. Now, what awaits you when you get to Missouri?
My kids, and I have a lot of friends with farms, and that's kind of my return home zone. So a lot of people are kind of looking forward to me being back in the area. So I plan on still traveling around my area that I lived last. I have a friend's farm I might go stay at for a couple weeks, possibly longer, and then I'll probably move around, here and there. But plan on staying there probably for a couple months to at least a year this time. So.
Well, that'll be a much needed break, I'm sure.
Yeah. I mean, I get little breaks on the road, but oftentimes they're doing repairs, constantly doing different things, because this is a new wagon. It's bigger than all the other ones. And when you home build something, you deal with different little kinks you didn't think about, being in the works. And so Like, we got to re-rig the brake. We actually have a welder bringing a generator and a welder here right now to help us roadside.
Goodness.
So that's what I mean. Like, it takes so many people in the community, but when we have those people out, it's funny because a lot of times they meet other people in their community that they didn't even know. And so I'm always like bringing people together, and it's kind of amazing to see because I keep up with a lot of them. So I get to see the interactions they have, and like now they're sharing dinner all the time together or different things, and they might have lived next to each other for 5 to 10 years and never even knew each other. So it takes a stranger sometimes to open up a community to something different because they've just been doing the same thing so long.
I think that's a beautiful sentiment. Thank you so much for agreeing to this interview, and I hope you have very safe travels, Ezer.
Thank you so much, Grace. It was nice to meet you.
Of course. And for the Wise News Network, I'm Grace Smith.